Hey Ty, how you doing, man? You all right?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Thanks for asking. I think one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about, just sort of real quick to get a bit of insight into your sort of journey up until now, is you and your brother were really kind of like the first like child prodigies in jiu-jitsu. How did you find that sort of growing up so big in the sport when you were still a kid, really?
Yeah, growing up, Kate and I never really had a chance or an option. My dad, before we were potty trained, he was wrestling around with us and making sure that we were going to be, good jujitsu fighters. It was really weird for our parents to have that kind of vision so young because there was no money in the sport or anything, or really much opportunity like that. So it was really kind of interesting. I never really understood why they wanted us to become jiu-jitsu fighters from such a young age, but that's what they wanted. So from three years old, Kate and I, we had the perfect training partner with each other. And yeah, I think just each other and our parents, and we just had the recipe for success back then. And yeah, I was super grateful to be in that position for sure.
And you mentioned something interesting that I think a lot of people notice is that, like you said, you've had the perfect training partner, your size, your height, your weight throughout your entire career. Do you think that either you or Cade would be in the same place you are now if it wasn't for each other?
Oh, 100%. I think I wouldn't even be close to where I am now. I hope I'd still be pretty good, but so much success has come from just the rounds that my brother and I possess. Every time that we scrap each other, it's the hardest round on earth. And not only that, it's the most technical too. It's just like a chess match, and when you know what your opponent wants to do, 8 moves ahead, it's just become such a crazy chess match. So it's just like it's such a privilege to have a twin brother as a training partner. I'm so grateful for it. There's no word for it for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we see a lot in the sport with like the Mendez brothers and Tammy and Mikey Smachi. There's a bunch of people that have the same sort of setup that do really, really well. And then
Yeah.
moving forward, sort of into the most recent sort of period of your career, obviously you're the one champion at the moment, and you've had, I think, you one title defense. You've had plenty of super fights outside of that as well. If you look back on the
Yes,
mats,
sir. I can't wait. Got my one title defense coming up. I was out of commission for a little bit, and I'm chomping at the bit to be back in action. I was out for about 7 months on a little knee injury, so I can't wait to be back on the mats. That's where I feel most at home and most comfortable is on the mats. And under that one platform. So I'm excited to be back home for sure.
awesome. And who would you say has been your toughest test at one championship so far? Then,
So far, I would have to go with Joseph Chen would be my toughest test so far. At the time, just didn't necessarily have the best performance. Not to take anything away from him. He's a solid, great technique, and I would say that was the toughest match that I had. Um, Other than that, maybe probably Magomed, my fight I got my belt for.
nice, nice. And then
Yeah.
mentioned the injury that kept you out of training last year. I know that happened at CJI, didn't it? What was it that you actually dealt with then since then?
Yeah, so I ended up tearing just like the outside corner in that little knee. I tore a few different ligaments, the LCL, PCL, some collateral ligament, and then I think the bicep femoris. Um, but yeah, it was honestly, I guess it was kind of gnarly. It was the first time I had an injury of that level. So it took me out for about 6 months. I remember like the week after I was catching tuna on the boat, but I couldn't do anything else aside from that. So I was kind of tripping out for a little bit. But but yeah, I got my knee strong again, and I'm super happy and super grateful just to have the opportunity to be back on the mats. Really made me realize how much I took for granted just even competing. So I'm really happy to have another opportunity to scrap for my belt.
And have you been doing anything in particular to prepare for Dante Leon now? Because you two have quite a bit of history over the last couple of years as well.
So if I've done anything for what?
To prepare for Dante specifically, like, is there anything different you've
Right.
done in training?
Yeah, Dante. He's for sure a threat no matter what in every department. He's got a great guard, great wrestling. He's tactically very smart, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and Yeah, a lot's changed in the last 3 years, I'm sure. For sure, his game's changed a little bit. I've seen he has refined a couple little things. Without giving too much away, I got changed a couple little things too about my game, and I'm excited to put it to the test.
Nice, nice. And I think one thing that has got to be on your mind lately at the moment, because your brother's had such an amazing start to his MMA career, and I know it's something that you've mentioned as well over the past few years. Is that still on the horizon for you, an MMA debut in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Ken and I just it's almost we find it more fun than anything. It's really it's just a beautiful sport, and we have so much fun doing it. So as soon as I get past this next match, I'm not looking past Dante. Full focus on Dante right now. But once we get past him, then we'll get a match booked real soon. Looking forward to it for sure.
So you're hoping to get the MMA debut in this year, then, are you?
Yes, guaranteed. That's the plan. As long as everything goes according to plan, for sure.
Nice. And then obviously one of the biggest sort of storylines this year is the return of Craig Jones Invitational. And you and your brother, you were both really successful the first time around, obviously. Are you planning on coming back for the second edition now later this year?
Yeah, man, we'll see. We'll have to talk about. Still haven't really looked into it too much as far as the different team dynamic and all that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more about it. And then yeah, hopping in that comp. That was a really fun one last time for sure.
Nice. And is there anything else that you've got planned for the rest of the year now, or is it just focusing 100 on day and then planning on MMA in the future?
Yeah, for right now, it's for sure just to get or defend my belt, get back in action, set my MMA debut, and then from there I'd be looking to hopefully set up my new gym with my brother and keep the ball rolling in the competition department, both MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. But yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough time to do Gi Worlds this year, but yeah, just keep the ball rolling in competition. I'm just happy to be healthy and grateful to be back.
Nice. And you mentioned something pretty cool there. I know you and your brother have been building that gym down in Costa Rica. Could you give us a little update, like how that's going, man?
Yeah, man, it's killer. We got the gym up and running, and we got the main house there with it. It's everything we've dreamed of since we were little kids. My dad's there full time, man, in the fort, and yeah, we're gonna be doing some BJJ surf camps here pretty soon. We're right in the process of contemplating if we're putting the casitas for the camp members to stay on site, or if they're gonna be staying around in the town where the gym is at. But yeah, once we get past that last little bit, we'll be running camps full time here at the end of the year. So we can't wait to be having that open for everyone. And yeah, it's just paradise over there. Super happy to be living the dream. Super grateful.
And is that where you're planning on working from now on, or are you gonna sort of like grow a bigger brand of gyms like elsewhere, or are you just happy with the one location?
Um, Sorry, could you repeat that one time?
Sorry, I was just saying, do you think you're gonna expand a little further and maybe open up a few other locations, or are you just sticking to the one sort of main gym?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan for Kade and I. We'll take it one at a time for now, but right now we're going to do this Costa Rica gym's going to be specialized more for the camps. And we're looking to possibly open up another gym local here in California as well. So we're going to be having some affiliates probably in the next couple of years. We're just looking to get the headquarters set first and foremost and make sure we got the foundation dialed in. But yeah, we're really excited moving forward, and we're going to have to be splitting our time between competing and teaching. So we're looking forward to it. We've always loved teaching, and yeah, it's going to be exciting and busy next couple of years.
That's awesome. It's nice to hear that you guys have got like a proper long-term plan in place as well. And for your competitive career specifically, like you mentioned, you've won the Worlds in the past, when Mika got disqualified. But do you plan on returning to Key Worlds in the future at any point, even if it's not this year?
Yeah, I love the gi, and maybe it doesn't pay the best, right? Or it definitely certainly isn't the easiest, but I love it. My dream as a kid was always to win a world title in the pyramid growing up. The prestige that you get from winning in the gi, it's just a pride thing for me. I watched all my heroes win the world titles in that pyramid. So winning a world championship in IBJJF will always be special for sure. And and if I don't have enough time to do it this year, no excuses. If I can make it happen, I'm gonna make it happen. But If not, then I'll for sure be hopping in next year.
So do you plan on doing MMA and jiu-jitsu pretty much side by side then for the next couple of years?
Yes, sir. That's the plan. I never want to leave jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu so much. My heart will always forever be in jiu-jitsu, and I always want to, do the community right by at least competing in once or twice a year at the very minimum, and for MMA, I love it just as much almost, it's just crazy. It's a new passion, but I'm having so much love, and there's just a lot of excitement in that for me right now too. So definitely gonna have to be doing them both simultaneous, and I know it's gonna be difficult, but my brother and I are gonna do it together, and we're gonna make it happen.
Nice. And is there any other sort of major events that you've got an eye on in the years to come? Like, do you still have the goal of winning ADCC as well?
Yeah, 100%. Right now, just got my one championship title, which is I'm super super grateful and super stoked on, and quite frankly, that would be enough, but ADCC is a super prestigious comp as well, and I grew up watching that competition, so technically, even my IBJJF comp, my title, I would like to get in redemption and get it for real. I don't feel like that one. I got second to Mika, so it doesn't really, even though he got popped for steroids and all that, doesn't really sit right with me. So yeah, those are two big competitions that I always had my eye on, and the older I get, the more things are exciting me too with this MMA stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I'm just happy to be healthy, and I'm ready to start chasing them down for sure. So right now, that's my one championship title. Right, going next will probably be the MMA debut, and then maybe make a gi comeback.
Nice. And where you mentioned obviously that sort of heading for redemption kind of thing, is Mika one of the rematches you'd like to have in the future then?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Always game to fight anyone, no matter who it is. Just as long as it really makes sense, right? For the people, and yeah, for everyone involved. Mika's a tough fighter for sure. Nogi, we've had a lot of great scraps, and then Gi, we've had a lot of great scraps. With him and my brother both. So yeah, whenever he wants to scrap, I'm down. We just gotta put on the right promotion. I know it's been kind of difficult getting it set up over the past couple of years with me being signed to one and Mika being signed with Flow, but yeah, we're ready to make that one happen at any time. I was saying we should do an MMA debut with me and Mika. I know Mika was teasing his MMA debut, and the same with me. So that would be a pretty interesting one for sure.
Nice. And is there any other sort of major rematches that you've got your eye on that you want to get nailed in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I had a couple of rematches in mind for the past couple of years, but those guys kind of been injured and more so out the game. So right now, I'm just looking to stay busy and keep defending my belt and keep holding my number one spot. That's all I care about, is making sure that there's no one around my size or that can beat me. And then I want to take down the Giants too. When there's one that I really look forward to. Eventually we get that Gordon match and the Marigali rematch I wanted as well, but those guys are out right now. So right now I'm just focused on defending my title and staying healthy.
Yeah, and that's something interesting as well that you, for a relatively smaller competitor, you do actually step up in absolutes or open weight matches quite a lot. Do you find it like better? Do you prefer doing that, or do you prefer fighting people your size still?
It's always easier fighting people your size for sure, but fighting the big boys, you know, it's really fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. I got nothing to lose, and I like testing myself against anyone. There's like that old saying, Jiu-Jitsu, technique beats strength, right? And I want to live by that theory, and that's kind of like the modern day warrior kind of, mindset I like to carry, so no matter how big my opponent is, I should be able to overcome and beat them, and I don't like the idea of someone being able to beat me no matter how big they are in jiu-jitsu, and yeah, so yeah, with that being said, I love to take bigger matches. I'm also a twin brother, so I can't be fighting my brother's division all the time, so I move up pretty consistently.
Nice. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much all we've got time for at the moment. But before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to say, or anyone you want to give a shout out to, or anything like that?
No, not at all, man. Thank you so much for the solid questions, and thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. Well, take it easy and good luck against Dante now at 1 Fight Night 31. All right.
Solid. Have a good day, boss. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.